Hey, 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 welcome back to my podcast, Flowering into 5D. Today, I have a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine named Adriana. I'll just tell you a little bit about her before we get started. So, Adriana Carballo is a modern shaman, moonlit life coach, and founder of Moonlit for Women and the School of Magic and Adventure in Costa Rica. She guides women to reconnect with their inner spark and natural rhythm through the wisdom of the moon, the elements, and sacred questions that awaken the soul. Her work bridges ancient wisdom with modern life, helping high achieving women slow down, feel deeply, and dream boldly. She is currently celebrating her own midlife rite of passage through Wild and Wise, a 50th birthday rite of passage, a personal 50 before 50 project that blends adventure, legacy, and the joy of wishing. Whether under a full moon fire ceremony or in an intimate coaching space, Adriana's mission is to remind us that we are nature and our dreams are sacred. Wow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
Oh, thank you, Sam. I'm very good. So grateful to be here. So thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I have to say, I went on a little shamanic journey with you. I guess that would be a few months ago, and it was
Mm.
so powerful for me. It was actually the first time I saw one of my angel spirit guides. So
Mm.
just gonna start with that for those who are listening. First time ever having the vision. So thank you for that. But
Mm.
Let's let's talk about your 50 before 50 project because I'm so curious about that. You've been working on this project 50 before 50. I'd love to know what inspired it and how is it connected to your legacy?
Oh, Sam, this is, well, I still feel a little bit of the chills after you introduced me because this is really like the first time that this whole 50 before 50 is added to my bio or something. So
Mm,
listening also from someone else is like, this is happening. Oh my God.
yes.
So we are actually recording this a few days before my 49th birthday. And
Mm,
so what I would love to say is like how this has started was actually not so long ago. I have another friend. She's a fellow hoop yogini teacher. It's a modality that we are teachers. It's a well, now I said it. So it's a holistic movement practice that integrates hatha yoga with hula hooping and mindfulness meditation. So we met
mm.
through this class that we're or this course that we are teachers, this practice, and so she shared just a few weeks ago on Facebook her beautiful face saying, "Hey friends, I'm gonna be 49 and I have this 50 before 50. So here's a few things I want to do. Check it out. If you have any ideas, if if something sparks in you, like how you could help me or what else I could add." And so I was like, okay, let's look at the list. And so she had written to plant 50 trees. And I was like,
Mm.
oh, I can help with that, and I commented and I said, plant those 50 trees in Costa Rica with Adriana. And the reason why I said that was because I knew her birthday was around that time when she was sharing. It was June, and so I was like, okay, it's a good time for planting in Costa Rica. We could find a way to connect it with the school and the whole, because we want to plant more trees and stuff. And while I was doing that, I was like, wait a minute, I'm also going to be 49. I also want to have my own 50 before 50 list. And so I started playing with that idea of making my list, and I got more and more excited. And then I was like, wow, my birthday is around the corner. I talk about this, which is these 5 questions that I also use a lot in my work. One of them is about wishes, about birthdays. And I was like, what if I just turn this into something bigger that
Mm.
it's not so much these inner and outer adventures. And Sam, I want to say that this actually happened while I was writing, when I was like, oh my God, what are my 50 things? What do I really want to do? So it
Mm-hmm.
really began to move this like there, and I was like, oh, I want to do this, but oh, can I actually do it? Or what if I cannot? Like all those thoughts that actually come to us when we really ask ourselves, what is it that I really want? Things
Mm-hmm.
begin to happen. And this was not just like a new moon, what do you want this cycle? It was
Yeah.
like 50 things. So it sparked this, and I was like, well, this became into this. I want to see this as a rite of passage for me, like going out there after 50 things that are a blend of small and big things, and I decided I wanted to connect it with my biggest dream, which is
Mm.
this school that we're working on in Costa Rica. I see that project as my legacy in a
Mm.
way. This is school for our kids and our youngest generations. And I was like, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to talk about this. I want to more women to question what it actually is to become 50 years old. Um, how is it that we really want to go into this second part of our life and
Mm-hmm.
see it as an incredible sacred moment? And how could I inspire more women to actually make their own 50 before 50, which is what my friend did. Like, she shared hers, I got into it myself, and now this turned into something else. So I don't know if it answers the question, but I got very, yeah, that's what it is. It's me going out there, inner, outer adventures, planting the trees, helping other women make their dreams come true, as I also work towards making my biggest dreams come true.
I absolutely love that. And I love that, it really it sounds like it inspired you to really dream big because, like you said, it's not just another like new moon wishing guide where you're like, this cycle, I'm gonna contact 10 people, like it's really like that thing. And that's huge. And yeah, like congratulations on taking that step to write those plans and start the seeds to putting those goals and dreams out there, because that sounds absolutely amazing. I will be 37 next year. I'm like, 30, 40 before 40. Like, I'm like, maybe like now I'm feeling inspired. So thank you for that.
Yes, 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 yes. My
Yes.
pleasure.
Yes. So going back to what you said, you mentioned the five shamanic questions that guide your work. I'd love to know more. Like, can you share them and tell me more specifically about the fifth one? And like, yeah, just tell me everything.
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely.
So, well, these are five shamanic questions that have turned into like a compass for me. They are yeah, like a compass, something to come back to when I feel I've lost a little bit of what I call my spark. But
Mm,
I would like to say that I connect this talking about our spark as our connection to spirit, in a way,
mm,
to that keeps us alive, or that makes us feel alive. Because one thing is to breathe. We are alive, our breath is keeping us alive in a way. But another thing is to really have that sense of being alive. I
mm,
think it's very different, right? So these questions come from shamanic stories or indigenous stories that say that if you at some point in your life are feeling dispirited, disheartened, depressed, like something's missing and you don't know what it is, and you approach a medicine man or women, they will most likely ask you one of these. And it's four questions. I have to
mm,
add that. The fifth one is one that I have added myself. But so the questions are: when was the last time you danced? When was the last time you sang a song? When was the last time that you felt enchanted by stories, in particularly the story of your own life?
mm,
And when was the last time that you felt comfortable in the sweet territory of silence? Because these medicine men and women, these wise people, they believe that in the moment that we stop doing these things, we lost a little bit of our spark, that connection to spirit. And so the dancing goes beyond the literally sense of putting some music and dancing and just allowing yourself to move. But in the moment that you stop dancing, this is also representative of the moment that we began to lose connection to the wisdom of our bodies. And so the singing has also its symbolism, we could say, and the stories and the silence. And so the fifth question, I added it because of the work that I do with the moon and the whole daring to dream, to what happens at the time of the new moon. Should we choose to see the moon also as a symbol out there in the sky or up there in the sky that reminds us of balance, reminds us of our cyclicity, like we are cyclical beings. It reminds us that just as there is light, there is darkness. Just as, no matter what happens, as long as we are here on this floating planet, there will be another new moon. There will be another full moon. And with that comes that cyclicity, like each phase of the moon has a special invitation that we can use to guide our journeys. So the new moon is about it. One of the things that we can talk about the new moon is that invitation to dream, is that invitation to be in silence and to ask, what is it that I really, really want? Without the worries about, can I actually make it happen? It's just the honoring of our dreams, honoring of our desire. And so the question is, when was the last time that you made a wish under this new moon, or when blowing the candles of your birthday cake? Because when we stop dreaming, when we stop making those wishes, what I believe happens, and in the context of the questions, is that we begin to lose connection with the creator part of us. We are creators by nature, and this desire to create something, even if it's a small thing, keeps us alive, right? Like, it is part of us. So if at some point in our life we are feeling, like, it's like, are we giving ourselves permission? Could it be that there's this bunch of desires and dreams and things that we keep repressing, that we don't allow to come out? And then just see what happens, because that's another story. What happens in the moment that, the whole journey after that, it could be a very sacred journey if we allow it to be. So that's the 5 questions.
Love those. That is so divinely timed, honestly. I think, I believe the new moon is it tomorrow?
It's what is today? Is it Thursday?
Today is Thursday for me.
Yeah, it's on Saturday, but I don't know with the time difference if it's going to be before or after.
It's coming in. I can definitely feel it. I definitely feel it, and yeah, like I'm right on that. Personally, I'm just right on that verge of like, okay, what's a reevaluation for the next month of like what's coming, what's happening here, what needs to shift. And I love I love working with the moon. I find it really, really powerful and just magical.
Yeah, I agree. And I know that you work with the moon as well, and you have your beautiful guides about the new moon and the full moon and all this. And one thing, Sam, that I have noticed in my, my humble experience with myself and with the women that I've been helping through the years, well, the last couple of years, is that what we're doing at the beginning is using the moon. And this can sound like whatever, but it's really, it just happens. It's just like, that's what it happens. I can say, I know it happened. We are first beginning to use the moon to guide us in one way, to say, okay. And one of the ways that I like focusing on is a special focus on the resting, on the slowing down, on the going into the darkness, which is actually the second phase of after the full moon. And this, like between the new moon and the full moon, what's happening is that we see more of the moon. She begins to become bigger and bigger. After the full moon, the opposite begins to happen. So that's also that reminder of, the light is bigger, or the moon is bigger. And so is our invitation to take action, to be out there, to do things. But
Yes.
then after the full moon is the opposite. It's like, okay, I have done the work. I have done, and there are many ways that we can talk about what we do during those cycles based on what it is that we're working on in our lives. But basically, for me, it's always coming down to the balance. Remembering that to have balance, there has to be a little bit of the two. I mean, we have to take effort. We have to really move our bodies and do things towards what we want. But there has to be rest. And rest is not like whenever I stop. No, rest is not optional.
Yes.
And for many of us, myself included, when I started working with the moon, and I still do some, I'm not lying, I would literally, it's like, okay, oh my God, the full moon. And sometimes I wish like the full moon was like 1 week after, because I still have so many things I want to do. But I literally schedule rest. I'm like, I have to remember that this is a time to go within. And of course, it's not that we only rest when the moon is waning. It's about beginning to integrate this and remembering that we just cannot go in the go all the time. If then we come to this moment where we, we could even ask to the 5 questions. We could ask, when was the last time you rested?
So true. I think
Because
a lot of people would say, I don't know.
Exactly. Or like and resting is not the rest like, I'm just gonna lie in this hammock and read a book, but still think about all the things that I need to do.
Yeah.
It's about getting in the habit of, and it's not easy. I mean, it's not that we can do it like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. That's why it's a practice, right? And that's why we use the moon to guide us into that gently and with love, like, okay, all right, it's okay. I don't see the moon. Maybe I need to sleep.
Yeah. Go out into nature or do something that's, turn your phone off or, I mean, something just to shake it up a little bit. I couldn't agree more. And, I definitely struggle with it as well. Last night I'll be honest, yesterday I had 2 coffees, which I shouldn't have, but I did. And I had the second one quite late. And I was laying in bed like, I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't really fix anything. And I usually don't like say I shouldn't have or should, because I'm like, well, it's done. So what can I do? But I was laying in bed last night like, why'd you have that second coffee? And I'm just trying to like relax. And I'm like, just shh. But it just, well, what about this? What about that? And it's just like, gotta take the time to rest. And I started doing some Reiki on myself, and it helped, but it was just, I had to just make some space between the thoughts that were just flowing, and just allow myself to rest, even with that still going on in the background. I eventually managed to go to sleep, but it took a really long time. And now
and now we know. That's the thing. The thing. Now we know. But that's also part of the, I mean, I think it's like part of the, I say, when I said the moon, like the balance between the effort and the relaxation and stuff, there's also, there's got to be joy.
Yes.
I mean, we have to also enjoy it. And so we could begin to practice that as well. Like, my program, I have a 6 weeks program that I have named Enchanted. And it's actually inspired by this question that I just shared. Like, when did you stop feeling enchanted by stories, in particularly the story of your own life? And one of the things that I would say, that I say to my clients, it's just a very new program that I started very recently, is like, one of the rules is like, we're going to go into this journey and we're going to begin to see everything that happens as an opportunity to become more and more enchanted with the story of our lives. And so how could it be in that example with the coffee? No, wow, look at Sam. She just had 2 coffees, and isn't this beautiful?
She's having the best day
in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Now we know. It's just a little bit, I think it's just making it light, and that lightness can really go very far. And I know that it's not easy. I know it's challenging, especially when we've been through difficult things, when we are dealing with difficult things. But that's why I remember one of my coaches earlier, like many years ago, how they talked about, because I don't really remember who it was. I just know I heard it. Maybe it wasn't even a coach. It was just something I heard. But the whole, we practice when life is not doing, what it's good at, which is like craziness sometimes, right?
Yeah.
We want to practice when we don't need it, kind of, right? Because what we're doing is creating that practice, and those that work with nervous system practices and with different breathwork techniques and stuff, we are practicing those things as much as we can, so that when something happens, our body knows how to respond to that in a different way.
Yes.
So it might not be very easy at the beginning. It might feel a little uncomfortable, but it's practice. And if we take it with love and compassion as much as possible, and if we have people to guide us and hold space for us, and it can be a joyful journey. Not easier, but joyful. A little bit more joyful.
That's exactly right. And, joy is, I feel like, a huge missing link in a lot of people's lives. Personally, myself, I've started working with women with who have been diagnosed or, self-associate with borderline personality disorder. I myself was diagnosed in 2008. And yeah, that's exactly it. You need to practice in the times that you're not, feeling spiraling out of control, so that when you are spiraling out of control, that your body can remember that. It's so important. And, even I think about, so earlier this year, I did like a 40-day laughter yoga challenge, which I don't know if you've ever heard of laughter yoga, but it's just,
I've heard. I've never practiced it because it's like so weird.
it's just laughing. Yeah, it's so weird, but it's like one of those things that you just have to try it and get out of your comfort zone. And I was just like, I loved it. It was so fun, and it brought so much joy to my life, and I felt I still love it. And I tried to ask my mom. I was like, Mom, you have to do it, like, because she has all of these barriers up about oh, blah blah blah. Anyways, I'm not here to discuss my mom, but she was like, I can't do that. I'll look silly. I'm like, you're alone. Like when you're doing it, like it doesn't matter if you look silly. And it just reminded me so much that like the times of discomfort are where you're gonna like grow. Like those are the times that are gonna create growth. So it's like, yeah, if you feel silly or like, so what? It's just those are the times that a seed is planted for lasting change. And so I just felt called to share that, because like we might feel silly, or we might feel like, oh, this is kind of weird, but if it doesn't feel different or weird, then you're just going to be stuck in the same old thing. And last I checked, most people aren't really happy being stuck in the same old thing their whole lives.
Yeah, and one thing I'm thinking now that you're sharing this, if anyone listening that is like thinking like, oh, I think that's silly, to maybe don't feel bad about it, right? Yeah. Like I think it's very normal, as everything is like we all have those things. Maybe for some of us would be it's kind of like that goes from where I am to trying something else, something new that is like, oh. Because what is happening beyond the silly is that, wow, this is something that I don't know how to do. This is something new. This is something that I haven't tried before. And of course, I mean, it's normal that it feels that. But I think one of the, I mean, what I thought when you said that was let's use that as an opportunity. Going back to the becoming enchanted with the story of my life. Maybe we're just going to move from the everything being an opportunity to become more enchanted, but maybe beginning to see those things that feel uncomfortable as here, there's a sign here for something that maybe I am not having so much joy in my life. And then that's okay. That's okay, but and then go into the, well, can I?
Yeah.
And then we just add like a little bit of the I don't know, consciousness is like so used, but it is true. It's like I'll put our consciousness into well, there's something here for me. There's an opportunity to have more fun, or to realize that I'm not having so much fun. And I have been there many times. Actually, I don't know if I've told you, but and I don't think we talked about this before, but I am thinking about it now. Like I have recorded an audio with my voice sharing these 5 stories, and I add a story from my own life of those moments where I have felt that I lost my spark, and how I could recognize it when I learned about these 5 questions or these 4 questions. And then I realized like what I was missing was this. And I talk about that. So if anyone listen, if you would love to have it, I would love to also give it to you. Because we've all been there. Like we've all felt like we've lost a little bit of our soul, our spirit, our sense of why am I here? What am I doing? You know, what is the purpose of all this? And yeah, so everything is an opportunity, and sometimes we don't see it, right? Like we don't know what we don't know is basically what I want to say. I don't know. I just started talking, just all these things that came that I felt like sharing. But I think it's about we don't know what we don't know. And now that I hear this conversation, if it's sparking something in someone, if anyone listening, to just take it with, as an opportunity, as something new, a new way of seeing things.
Definitely. Well, I say it often, awareness is the first step. And, from awareness is where, you can decide where to go with that, whether it be self-inquiry or just noticing and moving on, or, having the seeds be planted for later or not at all. I mean, it's all divine as far as I'm concerned. I think, I don't know if we've spoken about this before, but I believe in soul contracts. Like we come here for a purpose, and, who am I to say that your soul contract or my soul contract or whoever's soul contract isn't right? I'm just here to do my thing. And if it's not working for me, then I'm going to start asking some questions to myself.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd love to know a little bit more about your school in Costa Rica. I shouldn't say Costa Rica. I feel like it's very like Canadian or like American of me. Costa Rica.
I think I say it like that also.
Oh, okay.
In Costa Rica. Oh.
Because it's Costa Rica, right?
In Costa Rica, yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about that, because I personally, as I mentioned, before the podcast started, I do have a play group that's like alternative, more from like a Montessori Waldorf Reggio standpoint. But I would love to know a little bit more about your place, and just tell me everything.
Well, this is speaking about big dreams and wishes and allowing ourselves to dream. This is actually something that goes back to when I became a mother for the first time. And I am from Costa Rica, but I have lived in Denmark, in Scandinavia, for more than 20 years now. Actually, when was it? 2004 was when I moved to Denmark, or when I came here to yeah, then I stayed. So we're talking 21 years ago. And so my son is 17.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I mean, not exactly when he was born, but in that, that first year, that just this desire of this desire was born of having a life between the two countries. And it has always been, back then I didn't have like specific idea of what it would be. It was just that desire, that feeling of having a life between the two countries, and um, connection, the whole connecting with nature, the whole play, the future of our kids. Now I became a mother, and then you start thinking, and even sometimes it's not just thinking, it's worrying about the future of our children and this and that. So there's always been that about joy and connection with nature and stuff. And so that has taken different forms, let's say, throughout the years. Like as I began to get more clarity, at some point that whole idea was something that I didn't think was going to be possible for when my divorce and going through divorce. It was kind of like an idea that involved my family, that involved my husband, that yeah, a dream that I had for all of us, that suddenly that is not here. So then I cannot do it. It's like, so it took many years also to dare to dream again, to dare to believe that it was something that meant a lot to me, that why not? I mean, I don't need to have a husband. not to say it in a bad way, but that's what really happened. I was like, now who am I? Like, I'm not the wife of this person. It came down to, I'm the mother of these kids. And then little by little also get more clarity on who am I really, and what are the desires, what are the things that I really want, and don't feel bad about that. Because at some point I felt very bad and guilty for having a big vision and a big dream, and people thinking that I was just like too much. Like, how are you going to do that? Why don't you just have a normal job? And you live in Copenhagen, it's expensive city, you just need to go and work so that you pay an expensive apartment and just do that. So, well, what's wrong with me not wanting that completely? Why cannot I have the two things? Like, I love the life in the city, but I want more for myself, and I want more for my children, and I think they really deserve that I give it a try.
Yes.
At least. And also because it gives me joy, like the whole idea of creating this space. So basically that's a little bit of the background. But so the whole school, I say it's a school of magic and adventure, not because you're gonna become like Harry Potters in any way, but it's really it's really the whole idea of finding what magic is to you, and connection with nature, and going into adventures, the outer adventures, but daring to go into the unknown in one way or the other, what we learn through traveling, through cultural connection. So it's actually a school that is inspired in a Danish model, that if we translate it literally, is a high school, but it's not a high school as we know it. It's a program that is more directed to the kids or the young adults between 18 and 25 years old. And so it's inspired in that. And to have what we're working on is a place in nature, is a residential school where the kids learn or discover new ways of living happier and healthier and more conscious, connected lives, using nature as a schoolroom, and with focus on personal growth, on well-being. The 5 questions that I shared are at the core of the program. Is like, when was the last time you danced? Well, we are dancing. We're literally dancing, like Latin music and stuff. But we're also moving our bodies and learning, understanding about nutrition, having that connection with the food that comes from the earth, and cooking, and having that. The singing, the stories, all of that is part of the program. And so what I did last year a year ago. We traveled the 17th of August. So what is it today? The 21st?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 1 year ago, we have been in Costa Rica for 2 days, me and my kids and our cat. And what I did was I went there to begin to look for the place. Where could we do this? Who would be, gather the team and just going on a big adventure to figure out how this could be possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so we gather people, I gather lots of experience. I learned a lot about things. We came back to Denmark. That was the plan. And so now what I'm doing is working towards having our first group of kids in September next year.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that's the thing. That's what we're doing, and it's not that it's ready, but in a way it is. In the energy and the paper, it's there. It exists. We're gonna be having our first group in September, and we one of the most important things, which I think it's actually valid for everything that we do. When we have a business, where we have a new offer, when we're creating something new, I mean, we're doing it for the first time. Nothing is going to be completely perfect. It's a process. And if we approach it with this idea that let's just do it, create from abundance. When I say creating from abundance is remembering that we have everything that we need in order to make our dreams happen or our wishes. We might not know everything. It doesn't mean that we can do it all by ourselves, but we do have it. We do have, and we can create from abundance, from whatever we have, the resources that we have. So I have been thinking a lot about this. It's like, well, I might not have a lot of money to fund the whole thing, or I don't have my own piece of land, but I know people that do. And I'm going to go find the places, and I'm going to go gather the team, and I'm going to go look for the people that can help create this program with the vision that I have. And so that first group of kids are also going to be part of shaping this. We want them to be an active part of giving form to the whole thing. That they know they are being a big part of this, and they will always be welcome to come back. So we're creating with what we have. Of course, there's a whole year. It will all get better and better. But that's the thing. The first group is that, if it makes sense, to really go and get in there. And there's so many things we cannot control, but we have the spirit. We're going on an adventure.
Yes, and learn by doing, right? Like you can sit there and write it all down on paper, but until you start doing it, like gotta get done. So
And I think that's important. We talk about spirituality, and we talk about all these things that are very nice to talk, but one of the things, Sam, that for me has taken, I have to be honest, it has taken me many years to really sit here today and have this feeling that, not that I have learned it for sure, but I'm practicing, that I finally understood the importance of taking action. I am a person that has taken action of my whole life. I'm a doer, like I do. My background is in logistics and operations, and I like, having control of things and the chaos and the craziness and all that. That's been my thing for many years. But there's a difference between doing, like doing, and taking action. I think is different. Like the importance of, especially with spirituality and the whole, meditate and visualize and do this and energy work. Of course, it's part of it. But things, as much as I believe that some things can literally feel like they're falling from the sky, we really have to move our butts. We need to take action. Our bodies in that way is very important, and that has been one of the things for me, like literally thinking, like, oh, I do the energy work and I do that, but then why are things not happening? So what happens when I think that, oh, how can I teach about manifestation? How can I go out there and say if I'm not manifesting anything, if I'm doing the meditation, I'm doing all these things, and I believe in this, but it's kind of like for many years, I kind of literally thought that things were just going to fall on my lap. And they just don't. They don't. So finally it's like, okay, Adriana, it's time to do it.
Love it.
It's
Speaking
just
of
not going to
doing,
happen if you don't.
yes, so true. Nobody can do it but you. Nobody can do it but you.
It's just not going to happen. And then when you do it, and then things begin to feel like they're falling from the sky in a way, like the opportunities begin to come little by little. They begin to match that courage of taking action and that courage of failing, and then you just do it, and it's like, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. Let's see what happens.
Exactly. Experimentation is the best way.
Yeah.
So tell for the people that are listening, how can people get in touch with you and how can people work with you? I'm just gonna open, the mic is yours. Tell us, how can we reach you?
Well, I know you have the links to my personal profile in Facebook, and there's a couple of ways. If you find me on LinkedIn, so one of the things that I do there is that I share every month at the time of the new moon, at the time of the full moon, I write a newsletter. And so that's kind of like my way of bringing you into that rhythm of the moon, and getting in the habit of, okay, the new moon would do one thing, the full moon would do one thing. And I really believe that that's the easiest and the most powerful way that we can get started with that rhythm. And then on my Facebook profile, that's where I'm currently more active, and where I am updating, and I will be sharing about the 50 before 50. That's where I'm also sharing about my program Enchanted. If anyone listening, if you are interested in knowing more, just reach out on Facebook, or you can also send me a personal message. You have my WhatsApp and my email. And so I have my program Enchanted, which is for women. It's a 6-week program that basically is about getting you back into that rhythm and slowing down, and doing this through daily rituals, like really turning your whole life into more attention to the moon, the elements of nature, storytelling, and daily rituals aligned with the moon cycle. And what else could I share? I'm actually starting something, and this I haven't told you. I hope it's okay to share. You said the mic is yours, so I'm just gonna end with this.
Please.
You asked me at the beginning, Sam, about how do I see the whole 50 before 50 connected to my legacy. And so many years ago, I was on this group coaching program, and the teachers or the coaches, they gave us an exercise, and they said, I want you guys to connect with the last day of your life. And I want you to think about what you want written on that stone. I was like, oh, what? That was very impactful for me. But it was, like, how do you want to be remembered? And I remember what I wrote there. And this has really, I've written it in my journals year after year and keep having it. And so what I wrote back then was, I want to be remembered as a fun, generous, and a strong woman who always had time to listen, who listened to her heart or followed her dreams and inspired others to do the same. And so as I was working through this 50 before 50 list, as I began to really feel this excitement of what if actually I could get the help and the resources and the funding for these kids to come to the school and do all that, I'm really going to be doing this 50 before 50 to make that dream a reality. And then I don't want to be known as the one who followed her dreams and inspired others. I want to be known as the one who actually made her dream come true and helped other women too. So one thing that has been born during this lunar cycle is I'm taking 12 women with me. I'm creating this like a business network where we are helping each other with that. So it's if you have an idea, a vision, or a project that you're working on that is related to mine, like connected with well-being of our youth, something with nature, and you have that dream, then we do this network to make that happen for each other, for visibility, for putting ourselves out there, getting more clear what is it that you need in order to make that happen. So that is something that I'm currently working on. That if anyone listening, if you know a woman that has a project, and reach out, because that's one of the things that is going to be happening, or that is happening.
Love that. That's so cool. And wow, yeah, that's super powerful stuff. And I, I can, I'm like mind blown over here because I'm like, yes. That's like the ultimate like mic drop. Like, yeah, because it sounds absolutely amazing. And yeah, I'm just sorry, I'm like speechless. I just keep feeling, and yeah, but
Oh.
it's so, whoop, and I just lost my light because it was so cool. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to chat with me today and sharing everything that you've shared. It's been such a wonderful, pleasurable experience as always.
Thank
And
you.
oh,
It's
pleasure.
been like really amazing. So thank you for having me. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, my pleasure. And we'll talk soon.
Yes, we will.
Bye.
Bye.